Tubers, welcome back to the Hoard and Happy New Year. I wanted to make this video just to kind of remind myself of some of the major successes here at the Hoard and also some of the major failures. So, given that we had that plague go by, I've still managed to acquire 21 all-terrain vehicles, all-terrain cycles, or mini cycles, which is really pretty good considering that we were all supposed to be staying home and distant from all and everything that wasn't necessary. So that was a complete and total success. An example of what you're looking at, this Taylor done, I consider this a major success. It's kind of a roaming loading dock, right? I could back it right up to one of my trucks if it had reverse. I could drive it near one of my trucks, push it backwards until it hits the tailgate, and unload stuff to it, and then drive it to anywhere I want to. So I consider it a successful acquisition. And I also traded it. I got rid of, some of you guys who remember my channel from last year, there was that Clark airport tug that used to sit there behind the pickup truck that was beginning to deteriorate totally. So I managed to trade that off and get this. Major success. I would consider the carport project a complete and total failure. I looked into having it installed a little too late in the season. The people I picked, and as a matter of fact, a lot of the businesses on Facebook Marketplace are a little bit shaky. You really got to spend some time looking into them before you consider buying anything from a business on Facebook Marketplace. Anyhow, I got in touch with the people. They said that I would have it in 6 to 10 weeks. I never got it. And just for an update on that, I did get my money back through Discover. The guy called me, gave me a bunch of grief, left a message on my machine saying that he was going to get Discover to give him his money back. I'm canceling it, so it's my fault, and he deserves to get paid, basically. With Discover, if they give him his money back, I'm going to contact him and say, reverse it again, and I'm sending you a picture of my backyard, and you can see I tried to buy a carport, no carport here, obviously a failure, and obviously he doesn't deserve to get paid. So the carport was a major failure, and it kind of cascaded because that left a lot of these all-terrain vehicles outside. In the land of best deals, there were two of them. There is this Honda 250X. Found it on Facebook, and it was free. I was able to go get it. It really was free. The woman did not want any money for it. I gave her 40 bucks, said, yo, why don't you and your husband go out, have a pizza, you know, on me, pizza and a couple of drinks, but actually free, really free. I love that kind. This Sears tractor was also free. Belonged to one of my neighbors. And basically the float was sticking, so it would have a tendency, if you didn't turn off the gas, and there was no valve to turn the gas off with, but if you didn't turn the gas off, it would overfill the carburetor, right? The carburetor would leak by. Gradually it'd work into the engine and overfill the crankcase. And then it would be hard to start, but you could fuss it into starting, and then it'd smoke because the crankcase was way overfilled. The deck also had a problem. The bar that goes underneath the deck through there, it was broken and bent up such that the blade was hitting it. So anyway, that was free also. Fixed that up, and it's a real nice unit. Be nice if it was under the carport. In the land of successes, I was also like after certain all-terrain vehicles. This is a Yamaha Warrior. I picked it up. What did I spend on this? 500 bucks. I always wanted one of these. I was happy that I got it. It had a leak in the case that we had to patch up. That's done. It's really ready to ride. The only bad thing is the exhaust is kind of loud, and what it needs to do is come off, get patched up, get replaced, whatever. As a matter of fact, I should look into that a little bit more seriously and get this thing out there riding and running and all. But it starts right up, it goes. You guys could see it's really in pretty decent looking shape. So I consider that a success. Another successful acquisition, improving the quality of my Hoard acquisition. I've been after a second Recon, and I was happy to find this one. I think this was a $600 purchase. So, you know, two real nice steps forward. In the world of the China stuff, you know, this Sunel runs, this Tao Towers runs. One of the Tao Towers I got with the hand clutch, starts, runs, moves forward. Reverse seems to be blown out of it. The second one does have reverse. So, once again, the China stuff is the China stuff. I've also been after one of the China all-terrain vehicles with a GY6 150cc engine on it. So I was really happy when I managed to track down this rig too. So I improved the quality of the Hoard, picked up some decent stuff, and I got some of the China stuff I was after. And while I was bringing stuff home, I even managed to find this 1983 Honda, I believe it's a 185S, ATC 185S. Might be a 200S or a 185S, whichever one it is. But I did manage to find that. So many successes with the Hoard this year. The garage going into the winter. There's stuff in it, kind of stuff I'm half working on or waiting for parts for, right? Waiting for parts on that 250 Bayou. This guy here, I just got to finish working on it. I mean, the Honda three-wheeler runs. So I even have a little bit of garage space, which makes me happy, right? Some of my tool setups are a little better. The space in between the doors with the file cabinets is coming along with the heater on the bottom. So many successes. I really view my biggest failure was that whole carport thing. I put a lot of money out. I have $1,000 out for the excavator. I got my money back from the carport, but I have a lot of my toys out in the winter. And believe it or not, after every windstorm or snowstorm or whatever, I'm always out here making sure the engines are okay, that they're covered, right? Like this guy uncovered herself again, right? That's never a good sign. The port is covered, but even with that, it's just not good to leave an engine bare like that. You'll go to do something with it in the spring, and it'll be seized up. Given that it's a China 110cc with an automatic, it's not worth much now. Seized up and dead, it's worth even less than that. So you really want to get your stuff covered properly. The 24x24 carport, if you figure your average all-terrain vehicle is about 4 foot wide, they're only 42 inches, and 6 foot long. Some of them are a little more than that. Most of them are a tad less. You could put about 24 all-terrain vehicles in a 24x24 carport, right? If you stand them up on the end like you could do with three-wheelers, even these guys, even the China 110s, they can stand up on end, right? You could squeeze even more than that in there. So the carport would have really helped, would have made life a lot better. Even during the summer, right? It'd be nice to be able to come outside and work in the open air in the carport. rather than be in the garage. So the carport thing, that was a real setback. Every once in a while, you guys will ask for the full update. So hopefully I got my money back and I'm going to keep my money. Right? Hopefully the guy is going to give Discover enough of a story to get the money back, and then I'm going to have to fight a second time. I contacted Versatube. They're the ones who make the carports for Home Depot, Lowe's, Northern Hydraulics, right? They're the carport people that take care of all their stuff. The guy was reasonable. The guy claimed he could have one delivered here in about 6 weeks. My only concern, it was more expensive. Instead of being about $4,000, it was more like $5,000, so another $1,000 out of my pocket. And I had to build it, would have had to build it myself, or will have to build it myself. It's probably what's going to happen. I also looked into having a wooden carport, you know, making it out of wood, pressure treated lumber for the uprights. If you start looking at 6x6 pressure treated, 12 foot long, you know, 8 foot or 4 foot in the ground, give or take a little bit, and then 8 foot sticking up, give or take a little bit, depending. Right, each one of the posts is about $50. And the less posts you put up, the wood that you're tying them together with has to get bigger and bigger, right? As you're starting to look at 12-foot spans, you can't get away with that. You know, 2x6 really isn't big enough for that. You really should go up bigger. So your choice is, do you go every 8 foot on the long wall, so to speak, and then you could get away with 2x6s, right? Because you only go in 8 foot. If you start going, you know, oh, I'm just going to go with 3 of the $50 posts, which means now you got to go 12 foot, right? 12 and 12, and you got to go up to 8s or 10s, 2x8s or 2x10s. 12 foot long. Now that's starting to get expensive. So yeah, I rocked the numbers back and forth, and it looks like a wooden carport with the metal roofing and everything the way I want it. It looks like I can start reaching my way towards 6,000, and it's a crazy amount of labor, right? The metal ones, Versatube, everything kind of slides together. You put a couple of a couple of bolts through it, and you're all set, right? Where with wood, you got to put everything together. The other thing with the carport, the metal carport, theoretically you could pull up stakes and move it, which gives you the argument that it's not a permanent structure. And for taxing purpose, that's really important for me. If I start digging holes 4 foot deep and putting cement and post in them, I think the building inspector could argue that that's a pretty permanent structure, right? There ain't no way I'm pulling those concrete footings out of the ground and moving the carport around. So that's one of the other reasons that I'm leaning back toward the metal one. And it looks like Versatube's going to be the people, and it looks like I'm going to end up building it myself. I'll have to have a weekend here with friends and see how much work we could get done. So, the good of 2020. I didn't catch COVID. I did lose Iggy, but other than that, everyone else I know who caught it seemed to survive. Some survived a little better than others. Some have some lingering, but generally speaking, you know, for people I'm really, really close with, we're all hanging in there. So if you got health, then you go on from there. The channel as a business grew, right? 2020 was bigger than 2019. So I got no complaints with the way the channel's grown, and I appreciate all the support I've received to have it do that, right? If you guys aren't watching my videos, there's no growth. So I do appreciate you guys watching my stuff that helped the channel grow. I've gotten, the channel has also improved, right? I got some better equipment in, some better tools, cameras. Seems that no matter what, one of these cameras die per year. Sometimes horrible death. Sometimes you just go to make a video and they're dead, right? So this is a Sony. I call it a Sony hand grenade, your typical camcorder. I got some another new camera coming in, you know, lighted field and a bunch of other stuff. Hopefully the camera work continues to improve. So all in all, I can't say 2020 was a bad year. If anything, I'd have to say for me, my life, my health, my family, everything going forward, it wasn't that bad a year. It was, from an emotional point of view, a little bit hard with the plague floating around, but generally speaking, we all got through it. Financially, we got through it. I mean, right, we got by. The plague was not good for my wife's piano business at all. Lost a lot, about half the income there. So anyway, so that's my life. You know, it's been good. I love the free stuff, and I've gotten a decent share of that. I love bringing in all new all-terrain vehicles. That worked for me. I hate getting ripped off, so this carport thing was a disappointment. The guy stole time from me, and I don't like having anything taken. So that wasn't a disappointment. I did, the time did give me the ability to make some other decisions. The path between the carport and the wall will be 4 foot. They kind of insisted on that because they don't want the carport and the wall to have anything to do, you know, this structure to have anything to do with each other. But after doing that, I said, you know, that's a really good idea, because if I'm over there and I want to come to the garage, I just walk through here. Being 4 foot wide, I could drive an all-terrain vehicle through here. I'm going to probably put those red bricks that are in the front all along here, or gravel, so that when the gutter doesn't work, it just sinks into the gravel and goes away, or both. And right, so I mean, that was a good thing. The extra time allowed me to make things nice and level, and this is all nicely settled at this point. So once again, no complaints, except it wasted time. Well, I hope for everyone else their 2020 was good, or if it wasn't horrible. I want to thank you all for all the support and advice you've given the channel. Obviously, I don't know everything, and there are even days where I feel like I don't know anything. So I do appreciate, once again, the support and the help you guys have given me. I want you all to remember, I want you to keep your feet down, your heads up, and I want you all to get out there and enjoy each and every day. Take care now, and for everyone, have a great 2021. Bye.